Okay, so we've now quilted the quilt top, and I'm going to show you how to prepare it now ready for the binding. So with it flat out on your rotary cutter, ruler, mat, we need on the cutting mat there, with your ruler, actually square it up even with the seams on the block. And actually if you put the ruler on, the width should be 2 1/4 because it started off with 2 1/2. We've already used 1/4 of an inch. So your binding, your borders should be 2 1/4. Get them straight and just trim off all the excess along there. So trim that there. Pull it down and literally just work your way through. At this stage, if you want to take the pins out, you can take the pins out. Again, just keeping it sort of straight with lines in the block, looking at the 2 1/4 mark on your ruler. And trimming it off the backing and wadding excess. Okay. Now, just work my way around that. Okay, so I've gone around all the edges of the quilt and trimmed off all the excess backing and wadding. So now I'm going to prepare the binding. Now this comes in your kit, okay, and it will be in 7 strips. Now you only need 6, but I've thrown in an extra one just in case. Now you can put your binding on. If you've done it many times before, you'll know putting your binding on, you have your own certain ways. But what I'm going to do is show you how to join the pieces together. So when you get your strips, now this is homespun, so there's no right or wrong side. And what you need to do is to put them together at a right angle. The selvage edges are on here, so I've just taken it past the selvage edge, and I'm going to sew from that corner down through. And I've left the black thread in the bobbin so you can see this. You won't see it on the quilt. Trim off that bit from the corners, so when you open it you've got a straight strip. Now the reason we do it that way is so that when you do join them all together, iron it in half, okay, that way the seam is not in the same spot on your binding and it won't bulk up on your quilt. And then so I'm just going to join these together, iron them and attach it to the quilt and show you how I finish it off from there. Okay, so we've attached the binding to right around the edge of the quilt, and I'm just going to show you how to finish it off with the hand sewing of the binding. So what you'll need is a length of thread doubled over through your needle. Don't make it too long, because if you make it too long it can break because it wears as it goes through the material and breaks, so you'll find yourself fixing the thread rather than sewing. So what you do is just put a knot in the end. From the back, we'll put the knot through and just come to the other side of the stitching. Then we're going to roll it over, and we're just going to blind hem. And I'm doing this backwards for the camera, so bear with me. Put it over, fold it over, and I'm going to catch the thread in the fold of the material in the binding coming out, and then as I work along I catch the backing fabric just under where the fold meets and come back up into the fold again. And that'll finish it off with a nice edge around the back of your quilt. So that finishes off making our Dinojig quilt from our Dinosaur series, and I hope you've had fun making it.